Right, let me just sort myself out here because I've just got back in. Whew, I'm all turned around. So it is Friday lunchtime and I wanted to film a really quick intro clip because I thought that this weekend I would do a reading vlog. So I've been out this morning, I went to get my nails done and then I went to the doctor's and I have just got back. We are having yet another storm here in the UK today. It's miserable and grim and grey outside. The wind just whips icy cold drops of rain into your face. It's awful. So for the rest of the afternoon until I have to go out and get the kids from school, I'm just gonna hunker down and do some reading and get cozy, I think. But I thought that it might be quite cute to film a reading vlog because, let me just grab it. Ooh. This book, Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens, is a book which has exploded in the book community on BookTube and Bookstagram, but also is a book which has been hyped by some of my in real life friends as well, asking me if I've read it and saying that it's incredible. And I haven't read it yet and I don't know anything about it. I picked it up simply because of the hype, so I thought that it might be cute to film like a read along reactions for this book. I haven't even started it yet. I literally finished the book I was reading, Thief River Falls, this morning, so this is going to be my next read. Don't really have any plans. As I said, I'm just going to hunker down this afternoon. I need to make myself some lunch, and then James is at work tomorrow and I'm getting my hair done in the morning, so he is taking the kids to work with him. But apart from that, we have no plans this weekend, and if the storm is anything like it is today, if it's anything like that over the rest of the weekend, then I cannot think that we are going to go out. I really think we're just going to stay in, stay cozy, and for me that means lots of opportunity to read. So also haven't had a cup of tea since 6:30 this morning, so I'm going to go make myself a cup of tea as is standard, and yeah, I hope that you fancy coming along. I'm sure I will check in with you in a little while, but first of all I'm going to go get some tea and have some lunch. What are you doing down there, Mrs.? What are you doing? So I'm just taking a quick reading break. Obviously have started Where the Crawdads Sing and I am just past page 40. I haven't managed to do too much reading this afternoon, but I'm just going to press pause now because I have to go and pick up the kids from school. So at the very least, I thought that I would update you because I now have a little bit more of an understanding of what the book is about. It is historical fiction, and we're following two different timelines, one during the early 1950s and then one during the late 1960s. And the 1969 storyline, the body of a man has been found, and he's quite a well-known man in the area that this is set. It's set in some kind of marshland, so it says on the back, Barkley Cove, a quiet town on the North Carolina coast. So the 1969 timeline, as I said, we're following the apparent murder of a very well-known man who has grown up in the area and is kind of a much beloved son, friend, husband, etc. And then the timeline that started in 1952, we're following a young girl who basically, her mother leaves one day. I think that the dad is kind of a domestic abuser, so the mum gets up and leaves, and then all her brothers and sisters leave, and she's just by herself with her dad. Her dad is it comes across like maybe he's a drunk, he's not super present, and so she's kind of raising herself. But I mean, that's all just very early on scene setting. I'm enjoying it. It's a bit more literary than some of the books that I tend to read, but I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to get into it. But yeah, just kind of dipped my toe in there, and I'm excited to carry on. Right now I've got to go and pick the kids up. Meg is going to a friend's straight after school, and then Eli is going out to a Friday club with one of his friends in a couple of hours, so I'm kind of going to be a little bit here, there and everywhere, so I'm not sure how much reading I will get done straight after picking them up, but hopefully I could maybe read another 20 or 30 pages before I go to bed. It would be great if I could read 50 plus, but I'm just not sure, so pressing pause and we will see. Good morning. So just a really quick update. I'm a little bit late. I'm going to get my roots done this morning. James has gone to work and he has taken the kids with him. So yeah, I'm out this morning and then I will be home and I think in for most of the day. So just a quick reading update. I read just short of page 100 yesterday of Where the Crawdads Sing. Really enjoying it. The only thing that's throwing me a little bit is that a lot of the dialogue is written in a local dialect, and I really like it, but I'm finding it quite difficult to hear it in my head. It's almost a stumbling block because I'm trying to imagine how they would actually say it in my head, and then I'm not so much paying attention to what is actually being said. But yeah, apart from that, I'm really enjoying it. It's super readable, super fun, and yeah, just really enjoying it. So right now I'm going to head out, get my roots done, get rid of those greys. I'll probably try and do a little bit of reading when I'm at the hairdressers, but tend to be a bit more chatty, so I'm not sure how much I will get done, and I'll check in with you all in a little while. So I am back home. Come on, Pepper, up. Pepper, up. So I'm back home. You'll have to excuse my hair. It's always a bit wild after I've had it dyed for some reason. So it's just after lunchtime, and I've got back into a couple of exciting parcels, which I'll show you in a minute, but I'm just going to make some lunch, then do a little bit of reading. I've got 2 pieces of sponsored content that I've got to post on my blog, and I need to do that today. But apart from that, I'm going to spend the afternoon reading, although it's a really nice day. I mean, it's cold, but it's really sunny and bright and clear, so I might try and go for a walk maybe a little bit later on. But let me just quickly show you what I got in the mail. So it is World Book Day on Thursday, and Eli, dead straightforward, he wants to be Mr. Twit from the Twits, we'll just buy him a Mr. Twit costume, easy peasy. Meg wanted to be Professor Trelawney from Harry Potter, and Professor Trelawney costumes for young children do not exist. Sorry about the noise, by the way, that is next door. They're doing some construction work, and the people that are doing it have got their music blasting out, so not super relaxing for a day at home, but we'll just continue. Anyway, so Professor Trelawney costumes do not exist for children, and so we're kind of having to create our own. And so I've got like a dress that's got layers on it, and then a shirt with some tassels to wear over the top. But then the final piece came today, and it's so perfect I can't even tell you. Let me just turn the camera around. So it's basically like a sleeveless fluffy cardigan with these tassels on. I'll have to get her to put the whole outfit on in a bit, but it just is so Professor Trelawney-ish that I just love it. I mean, she would never wear this normally in a month of Sundays, but it is just so perfect for what we want it for. This kind of knitted material, but with the tassely bits on it. Oh, what's that stuck to it? With the tassely bits on it as well. Yeah, it's just so perfect. I'm so excited to see her wear it. And this is the other parcel that I got, which I can't really show you because it's for the blind books, for the reading retreat. I give you just a quick peek, but it's always nice getting bookish mail, isn't it? And there are a couple in here that I ordered for myself just because they had an offer on. So yeah, that is another exciting piece of mail. But right now I'm going to make some lunch and then I'm going to read. sitting here doing my work, minding my own business, waiting for my dinner to cook, and it started hailing outside, and here I was just, what, 20 minutes ago saying how lovely the day was, how bright and sunny, and now it's hailing. Cannot get on board with this crazy English weather. It's just mad at the minute. So I am just over the halfway point of Where the Crawdads Sing. This is such a beautiful book, but it has so many sad moments in it. I just wanted to kind of stop and give a little update. It's just after 5 o'clock. I think James will be home with the kids in about half an hour. Obviously then we'll need to have some food and have an evening together as a family. The weather outside, I don't know if you can see it out there, it's just horrendous. It was like the kiss of death, me saying that it was really bright and nice. It has hailed and rained and been gale force wind stormy all afternoon, which actually has been quite nice for me, kind of hunkered down in the house. Probably less nice for James, who was out on site today, but yeah, it's been good. I have enjoyed reading this. It's been interesting having the two stories kind of intertwined. So we have obviously the detectives investigating the death of Chase Andrews, and then we have the young girl Kaya's story. Just at this halfway point, she is now a young woman. I'm going to try and keep it as spoiler free as I can without giving too much away. And so she's a young woman, and her story has now kind of crossed paths with Chase's story, so they are present in each other's lives. But having kind of the knowledge that Chase dies sprinkled into Kaya's story, it just makes it really interesting, because you are very aware that her story and his story are clearly building to something, because, you know, he was found dead in the marshland, and that just wouldn't happen for no reason. So you're kind of aware that there's this tension and it's building towards something, so that's really interesting. The writing is incredibly beautiful. I think I mentioned earlier the strangeness that I was finding in reading the dialect, and I am still finding that. I haven't got used to it. I kind of have to read it a couple of times in my head to understand what's being said, but I really like that element, despite it taking me a little bit longer to read because of it. Yeah, the writing is really beautiful, but most of all, I just feel this immense sadness for Kaya, and for the fact that, you know, she lives this life. She's been left by almost everybody who has come into her life, and she's just very much on her own, but she lives this life that is so rich and diverse and at one with nature and the creatures around her, and she's really interested in that, but she just feels this ache of loneliness and this need to have human contact and human connection and just someone else in her life who cares about her. And there's just this really sad undercurrent running through what you're reading, because especially as a mum, you know, to think of me walking out on the kids, it just makes my heart hurt a little bit to think she was 6. I mean, you find out right at the beginning she's 6 years old when her mum leaves, and her mum obviously has her reasons for leaving. Her dad is a bad guy, and he beats on the mum, so, you know, there are reasons, but it just makes my heart hurt to think of this little girl traversing the world pretty much on her own. There are people who come in and out of her life and support her, but yeah, it's just so sad, and she's just aching for that human contact and that sense of acceptance and love, and it's just really, really moving. But yeah, I'm going to carry on reading now. Probably won't get too much read. I've been reading quite slowly today. Normally I can read a lot faster, and I don't know if it's because I want to carefully absorb what I'm reading or just soak it in and appreciate it more, or if my mind's just not in it. I can't remember if I said that I'm not very well at the moment and I'm on antibiotics and they're making me feel a bit queasy and just not myself, as well as not being myself just because I've not been very well. But yeah, so I don't know, it's kind of probably a mixture of all those things, but I'm reading it quite slowly, which is nice because I'm getting to go very gently on this journey, but I'm just not making as much progress as I perhaps would have liked to make. I thought I would have finished it by today because, you know, it's only 360 pages, 70 pages. It's not a huge book compared to some of the books that I read. But yes, I am enjoying it greatly. I'll probably, as I said, not get much more read now before the kids get home with James. I would imagine maybe 20 or 30 more pages. But yeah, I'm going to carry on. I'm going to snuggle down under my blanket, ignore the storm that is happening out there, and just carry on reading. And I will check in with you all in a little while. So it is Sunday afternoon. It's always difficult for me to film first thing on a Sunday because we have church, so we went and did that, and then I had to go and have my eyes tested at 2 o'clock and found out that my right eye has improved but my left eye is much worse. So then I had to choose some new glasses because I had to get a new prescription. I haven't had new glasses since I was probably 24, 25, so quite a long time I've had the same glasses for, and they were actually glasses from the teen section. So I have petite women's, but still they are from the women's adult section, but I'll be able to pick those up next week, but it took us nearly an hour. And there was some kind of shadow behind my left eye, so I had to have some more tests done from the standard tests, and it just took absolutely ages. But I have got some new glasses. I'm excited about them. They're a little bit bigger than the ones I wear right now, so I'm not 100% certain on them. I'm sure it will just take some getting used to, but the optician did say that I need to start wearing my glasses more than I do because I'm causing strain on my eyes, which is then going to be giving me headaches and that kind of thing. So yeah, that is all done. A reading update. I got to page 245 last night before I fell asleep. Really enjoying this. I think I said it in the last talking section that everything is just kind of, there's a real sense of anticipation and tension, and we are building to something happening, and it's just really good. Hopefully I'm going to be able to, if not finish it, then get really close to the end, and then I'll have read nearly 400 pages over the weekend, so I'll be thrilled with that. We don't have too much going on right now. I am just upstairs having a little bit of quiet time. I'm going to do some reading and have a cup of tea. The Everton game is on, so that is distracting James and Eli. Megan is doing some chores. I think she wants to earn some money to buy some kind of Sherlock Holmes book. So she's doing some chores to earn some money, so we're all kind of just doing our own thing this afternoon, and then we'll have some dinner and sit down and probably try and watch another episode of a series of Unfortunate Events, because we've just recently as a family got into that series on Netflix, so that should be nice. And then it'll be back to work and school, and back to the grind. But right now I'm going to take advantage of the fact that everyone else is occupied, and I'm going to sit and do some reading. Right, I know I look a crazy hot mess. I'm not long out of the bath, but I wanted to come on and quickly share my thoughts because I have just finished Where the Crawdads Sing, and oh my goodness, I'm sure that I'm going to disprove this in a couple of seconds, but I feel absolutely speechless about this book. It was just so moving and so beautiful and so heartbreaking and so poetic, and this is the book that I wish that the binding had been, and that is that a book which has received such high praise and high acclaim and made such waves in the book community, but this book fully deserves all of that. It was just absolutely fantastic, and I think I'm going to struggle to kind of explain why, because I don't want to spoil it for anyone, because I really think that this beautifully quiet book needs to be read, and you need to go on the journey with Kaya and all of the other gorgeous characters that are in this book that I will cherish and hold with me for such a long time. Oh my goodness, I think I need to go and sit and think and mull and try and coherently put some thoughts together, because I cried as well at the end. There was just so much to love about this book, from the southern charm that Delia Owens manages to inject. You know, she talks about the food and she talks about the landscape and the wilderness, to just there are just some absolutely gorgeous passages in here that are so quotable and so fantastic, and I absolutely love this book. It is without a doubt a 5-star read for me, and yeah, I'm gonna go and have some dinner, and I'm sure that I will be back when I've had time to process my thoughts. But it was so good. It was so good.